Hello, 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 and welcome to the first episode of The Breakdown with Hansen and Brown, the sequel series to Touchdown with Hansen and Brown, where we used to talk about football. Now we talk about whatever the heck we want.
That was my favorite song. I can't believe you turned that off.
Today I am joined by that critical voice you heard in the background, the incomparable Joe Brown.
I can't even hear myself.
You can't even hear yourself?
Is it just not
It's probably
on?
for the best.
Your mic is on. And you hear another voice, and that's because we have our first special guest. Give a big hand to our special guest, freshman at the University of Illinois and longtime friend of Joe and myself, Owen Degrace. Woo! Wow, yeah, woo! All right.
Our live studio audience really likes Owen.
Yeah, our live studio audience.
Expansive, yeah.
There's also now a red telephone sitting in here. I don't know if that's if we have like live callers coming in.
This is the telephone that gets called when we're about to get nuked.
Right, yeah. That looks like something bad's gonna happen. You pick that up, yeah.
I don't know the number of the telephone, but if anyone does and you have a question you'd like to call in with, go ahead.
It has the number 333-0445 on it. I don't know what that's for. Also, this is not plugged into anything.
It also says emergency, doesn't it?
I don't really know
Emergencies. It says
about-
emergencies on there as well, so.
I don't really know anything about technology, but this is not plugged into anything. So that doesn't sound like...
Interesting. All right. Well, we've got a good show for you guys
hear me
today.
through your mic? Because it sounds way more muffled. For...
So, you know what? We're just going to test some things out here. Joe, I want you to talk into your mic and don't stop talking.
Oh, I can do that all day. You have appealed to my good senses. I mean, I can hear myself. It's just like when you guys talk, it's a little bit... Oh, that sounds a little bit better.
You're on mic 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well.
Maybe it's just because I'm hearing myself through the vibrations of my mouth. And, like, did your own voices sound slightly different from everyone else's? Is it just me? Am I crazy?
I think yours is a little bit softer.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But I don't know if there's anything we can do about that because all of the microphone levels are turned all the way up.
The
but oh well.
microphones are conspiring against me.
They are, Joe.
I will be heard.
You'll just have to talk louder, heaven forbid. All right, before we get too much further into the show, a quick disclaimer. You are listening to PizzaFM, a free-form, non-commercial college radio broadcasted in partnership with Unit 1 Living Learning Communities at the University of Illinois. The views expressed by individuals on PizzaFM are not necessarily those of Unit 1 or PizzaFM as a whole. PizzaFM is made possible through the generous support of SORF, the 1867 Society, CRFB, and listeners like you. Thank you. Owen, how are you doing today?
I'm doing just fine. How are you, David?
I'm fantastic.
That's
I
Thank
was
you for
doing
asking.
great, too.
Joe?
Not that anyone asked.
No one did. Maybe a caller will come in on the cell phone. Hey, how's Joe doing?
In the background, yeah. Give the second question to Joe.
Oh. Okay. No call. It's the phone isn't even wired to the...
Right.
So it's one of the... It's not so old of a telephone that you have to, like, spin the dial, like the... kind of thing. But it's old enough that it is one of those, like... it's got the classic kind of rectangular shape. It's got the keypad on it, and it's got the phone that you pick up from the receiver, and you'd expect to have a wire on it. There's no wire on the phone, and there's no landline plugging the phone into the wall. There's nothing.
I almost hope someone calls and it rings just to, like, prove us wrong, though.
That'd be hysterical.
This thing rings. We are getting a call from the upside down. That's coming from another dimension.
I have no idea why it's there, but I thoroughly enjoy it.
Just adds to the ambiance of the room.
Yeah, it does really. We've got like Christmas lights in here, which is a little bit early.
Old PlayStation 2 games for some reason, but like not good ones.
Yeah. There's a whiteboard. We're just trying to, set the scene for you guys as if you were here with us today, talking with us in the very same room. There's a whiteboard with a bunch of drawings on it, including Perry the Platypus in a bow tie.
I take back what I said about the PS2 games being bad. We got Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4.
Pro Skater 4? I know what we're going to be playing after the broadcast. All right. Let's get into what we're going to talk about today. And, it's whatever we want. And so I want to start with our special guest, Owen Degrace. Now, a fun little fact about Owen Degrace is that he likes animals. In fact, he likes animals so much that he's doing it for a major.
I am.
And he's
science.
also a part of a club called the Illini Service Dogs.
I am also, in fact, a part of a club called Illini Service Dogs.
Where he gets to... You know what? I'll let you explain it, Owen.
Okay. So Illini Service Dogs is a student-run organization on campus, and it's run by mostly students, and there's some alumni that help out as well. But it's basically where we have either... Thank you for wiggling my cord, David. From either from 3 to 8 dogs in the organization at once, and each dog is a team of people that are assigned to it, and basically those teams are training the dogs to become full-fledged service dogs. And their goal in the end is to be given away to people who need them. But the real catch is that they're free of charge. So the Illini Service Dogs works through, it's free because it's a nonprofit, but also because everyone is a student and a volunteer, and they, get the dogs and they work with them through having sessions throughout the week and stuff like that. And then you train them with your group, and at the end, at 2 years, you send them off to people who need them. So it's a great organization.
That's pretty incredible.
There's my plug for the day.
I've seen a lot of those dogs around campus, people walking them around. And let me tell you why I don't like Illini Service Dogs.
Let's
you can't pet the dogs.
It's true. It's also probably better behaved than you are, but
it's very much better behaved than I am.
But yes, it's a great organization. I would definitely go follow social media. There's an Instagram. Consider joining. Everyone there is great. Everyone's really fun, nice. I mean, it's a great organization. So
that's awesome.
That's my plug. Yep.
I appreciate having Joe in the room because immediately after Owen's plug, Joe was like, "This is why I don't like your club."
I can't pet the dogs.
No, I get it. I want to pet the dogs too.
They are the goodest boys.
They are.
They are the goodest boys because they help people.
They do.
Exactly.
I'm curious, do you have to train the dogs specifically based on the people they'll be helping, or is there kind of just a general thing you
Right.
go
So
through?
the first year and a half, year and 3/4, it's general regimen. It's the same stuff for every dog: normal, sit, stay. They push touch plates to try to open doors. So if they're in their owner in the future is in a wheelchair, they'll open the door for them. They'll get up and turn on the lights with their mouths. There's a bunch of different commands that they'll do just as a foundation. And then as soon as they're placed into someone about a year and a half, year and 3/4 in, they'll start working with that person, and you'll get to train specifically for that person. So if there's someone who has a disability that needs to be in a wheelchair and they would like the dog on the right side, then we'll start teaching the dog side rather than heel, which is the command to keep them on their right. So yeah, it changes based on the person that you're giving the dog to, but foundationally it's all the same, yeah.
That's really cool. And being a part of the club, what is that like? How often do you guys meet? What is that? What's that schedule like?
So the commitment, it's kind of what you make of it. Every Sunday we have an hour training session from 5 to 6 in Huff Hall, and then outside of that, you're on a team obviously to train the dogs. So it's pretty much up to the team how they want to dish out the hours to training the dogs, but. It could be from 2 hours to 3 hours a week. I'm not really on a team right now since I'm technically a new member as a freshman, but I have asked different people who lead the dogs, who are known as primaries, the heads of the groups, if I can take the dogs out for a couple hours. And I've had a couple of sessions. I've had one with a golden lab named Wrigley. I've had him for a couple 3-hour sessions, and then I've had a poodle named Jada for another session. So it's been great fun. Yeah.
Sir. Now, I don't want to be breedist here.
Yes.
I don't want to, pick favorite breeds.
But are there also in the disclaimer, I'd like to say that, everyone's opinion is their own. Pizza FM does not claim anything, so this could be interesting.
Are there certain dog breeds that are better at the job? Or can you really train any dog?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I don't think there's any that are really... I mean, as far as I've seen, I haven't been in the club that long, but specifically, I couldn't say if there's any.
Because it's a well-known fact that golden retrievers are the best types of dog.
Well,
I'm not sure about that one.
No, but also when I grew up, I had a very, very small, very fat pug, and I'm thinking about this flicking light switches business. Now, I just tried it for myself. It's not all that difficult. You have to really aim it properly, but I don't think a pug can reach a light switch no matter how hard it tries. So
I don't think you've seen the soul in the pugs I've seen.
Yeah.
The effort has to be there.
Have you seen a pug jump up and flick a light switch?
I have
that
not.
would be amazing.
Pugs have mad hops.
I am telling you that in all the time that I owned my pug, I never once saw it jump. But
You
my
never
pug-
trained it to flick your light switch, Joe.
My pug was very fat. Her name was Snoopy.
Oh,
I feel like that's pilot error. I don't think that's the dog's fault. It didn't flip.
Yeah, it's probably our fault. We used to take her on wagon walks.
Oh,
She couldn't
there you
walk
go.
for very long, so we'd put her in a wagon and drag her. She loved it.
Did it have wheels, or did you just drag the wagon behind
No,
you?
it had wheels. But she'd get all like, she'd be like, just like make a happy face, wag her little tail. She'd be like, I'm very fat, but I'm enjoying the fresh air.
I had a friend whose dog I always watched. Quick note for the audience who doesn't know: I'm allergic to dogs. And yet there was this family that always asked me to watch their dog because the dog was a little. All right, there's nothing on the disclaimer that I can't. You know what? Well, to be safe, I'm not going to say a bad word. The dog was a little doo-doo head. You know, the dog was a brat. You'd come to the house, it would just growl at you. It wouldn't let you out, or it wouldn't go out of the house when you needed to walk it. And that dog also got pretty plump. It was a very plump dog. And I remember I figured out a trick to finally get the dog to go on walks. And I would lead it outside with a trail of food, and then I would shut the door behind it. I'd be like, you're not going back inside. And that worked because he knew there was no way out.
That might have been the reason he hated you.
No, he hated everyone. Eventually, it took like 5 days for him to like kind of like you. And even then, that just means that he doesn't growl at you. He lets you like sit in a chair across the room from him.
Oh, okay.
That's about it.
Right. Gotcha.
It was a very one-way relationship. We got back from the walk. We'd come in. He'd be my best friend. I'd give him a treat, and then all of a sudden, once he had his treat, he was like, "And I don't care about you. You can leave now."
Sounds like a cat. You sure it was a dog?
It may have been a cat.
Yeah.
You know what?
You know what? I'm gonna
Didn't
have
care
to
about you?
stand on the side of cats because I'm the only person in this room that is a cat person.
Whoa.
And
I own a cat.
Cats are.
Both of you have owned a dog and a cat.
I
Owen
currently
both
have a
owns
cat
both
and
a dog.
I
Oh,
have a
okay.
cat
So you
and a
both
dog.
currently have a dog and a
But
cat.
I lean more.
I have a
towards this-
rock.
I vibe more with cats because cats are like me. Like a cat has like a small group of people that it likes.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really like anyone else.
Yeah.
And they're pretty chill mostly. And they're like, yeah, I'll go hang out with you and stuff. But like, I'm not trying to run to the door to greet people whenever my family has people over. I'd rather stay in my room.
Yeah.
That's the
I
way
feel
the
that.
cat operates.
Mm-hmm.
See, I've never met a chill cat.
My cat's pretty chill.
The cat's not like if I put my hand on it, he wouldn't be like, no, whatever, man. If I put my hand on the
You
cat,
can't just walk up to
he'd
like.
be like,
Okay, well, like imagine if some random. I think we're comparing our behavior to dog. Like dogs are super friendly. Like a cat
And
is
better.
more reasonable. A cat's way more reasonable than a dog. Like I don't want random strangers touching me. We got to build a relationship first before you go and pick me up like a baby. Come on, man.
I think the cat and dog like temperament is inverse. The fatter the cat, the more chill it is, and then you get like, the fatter the dog, it's much more aggressive. I kind of feel like that's true. I don't know.
that's a pretty accurate description.
I also have a relatively chill cat. Like in a lot of ways, my cat acts like a dog. Like you can call my cat from another room. Like I've seen a lot of cats. I've never seen another cat do. Like you go, hey Lola, and, like the cat will come running from the other room.
I've never seen a cat do that.
Yeah, she will. I don't want to say fetch because most of the time she's too much of a dick to bring it back to us. But if you throw something, she'll go and grab it. Yeah, I've cursed many times. On this show. I don't know why you're so
Can
concerned
the,
about the.
Did the
you're
cat-
listening to Pizza FM, freeform, non-commercial college?
Yeah.
radio,
We've done the
where-
disclaimer
where
already.
Joe Brown can say whatever he wants.
Did your cat grow up with dogs though?
Yes,
Oh.
I
kind
think
of.
that might be why it's
My-
got those
My
tendencies.
cat had an interesting relationship with my pug.
Animal
though,
science.
because
Hardly.
my cat grew up with a pug. The pug was mostly blind by the time we got the cat and didn't really know what the cat was.
Okay.
And so the dog was kind of aggressive towards the cat. So their interactions usually consisted of the cat would typically avoid the dog. If the dog happened to run into the cat, it would run after the cat, and the cat would jump up on a chair and then start hitting our dog in the face
Right.
with her paw.
That
So
tends to be the battle strategy
I don't
for
think
cats.
she
Yeah.
ever really like pack bonded with the dog, if that's what you're talking about.
Good to know.
Completely random. I was just thinking about this during our talking about dogs and cats. Did you guys see the new trailer for Cats, the movie?
There's another one.
There's a second
Have
one.
I seen Satan?
Is it like the Sonic
Yes.
trailer? Did they
Yes,
make
I
it
have.
better?
No,
Oh,
no.
God
The Sonic
damn it.
trailer actually was
Sonic
much better.
The
I'm not
Sonic
going
trailer was
to. Let me be
surprising.
clear. I'm not going to see the movie.
No.
I have no interest in Sonic the Hedgehog.
I might see it,
But
it
the-
looks kind. I like bad movies. I would potentially watch it.
But the first trailer gave me nightmares.
For Sonic or Cats?
For Sonic
Oh.
and
Sonic
Cats.
and
The
the
only
Cats
difference,
one.
Sonic, they were like, "Oh, our fans have a major problem with this. Let's fix it," and they did. And I spent a decent amount of money on
It's
it.
like $15 million or something crazy. But I
Yeah.
mean, they definitely made the right choice because they would have lost much more than that because no one would have gone to see that movie.
The problem is that it's a completely. I watched a whole video by VFX artists about, if you've ever seen Corridor Crew, about like why the Cats video is different from the Sonic thing. The Sonic thing was their character design for Sonic was terrible.
Yeah.
It did not look like Sonic at all.
Why did
it
it
was,
have baby teeth?
It was an affront to humanity.
It's
It
pretty
was
scary.
terrifying, and
Yeah.
all they had to do was reanimate it to make it look more like Sonic, right? So that's just a problem where in post-production they already had all the film and they had just animated the character, so they just had to redo the animation. The thing with the Cats,
How does that cost $15 million?
I think it was $5 million.
Oh,
that
was
may
it?
have. I've heard the first reports that came out were over exaggerations.
Okay.
So 15.
I was like, I don't know where animations
Or
cost these days, but that
overestimation,
sounds like a
sorry.
lot of money. Okay, continue.
The thing with the Cats video is that the VFX artists that I saw, the professional VFX artists watching the movie trailer, their general idea was like the animation is not the problem. Like the animation is good. It's the art direction, like the way that they decided to make these people
Right.
cats look is unsettling.
It looks like a human wearing a cat suit.
Yeah,
It's
it
really,
looks like a
really
furry.
weird. Yeah. I mean,
It's not the animation's fault. The animation is top notch. It's the fact that all of these cats have like defined butt cheeks.
yeah, there's like wearing like a skin suit. It's kind of weird.
Like it's just the fact that you decided to give them human hands when you like animate. Like there are so many problems
gosh.
with it that are not the animator's
Right.
fault. There's also the issue that Cats is just already not a great musical.
It's a debatable, yeah. I don't know why that'd be the choice for the movie, but
why do people like that musical? It's other than the dancing, it's just character introductions the whole time.
Touch me.
No, not while you're wearing
Yeah.
a furry morph suit. Ugh.
Only in Cats could like very attractive Broadway actors look so disgusting that they could sing an entire song telling you to touch them and you wouldn't want to do it.
They I get like some of the part of the allegory of it, but I really don't like the story. That's just me. But it is a star-studded cast. Like they got a
Yeah.
lot of big names.
They
I
did.
think Ian McClellan's in there. I love Ian McClellan.
And then they've got some like up and coming actors. Like I heard that the main character is going to be played by this woman named Taylor Swift.
Oh, I don't think she's the main character.
yeah,
I
they
have
have Taylor
no-
Swift, Jennifer
I just know
Hudson,
that
Jennifer Hudson.
James Corden, yeah,
James Corden is just terrifying.
Idris Elba,
James
That I'm
Corden-
excited for. I
Jason,
think he's
Jason
the bad guy.
Derulo's in this. I'm
Jason
sold.
Derulo.
I'm sold.
What?
Get me in there.
You didn't know Jason Derulo's
How
in there?
did they
I didn't.
convince all of these people to be in their terrible movie?
I don't know.
Money.
that.
How did they convince all these people to be in Cats? It's not like these people are
Cash.
short of money.
I mean,
Yeah, but like, have you ever seen Taylor Swift in a movie?
I have. She was in the what was it called? The Giver. She was in the Giver movie.
What?
She played whatever her name is, Frances, in the Giver movie, like
No.
the main girl. Look it up. She also was the voice actress of the main girl in the Lorax.
Okay, yes. Yeah, but she was a voice actress.
No, she was in the Giver alongside what's his face, the dude who played Percy Jackson, I think.
No way. I'm fact checking this right now.
All right, fact check.
I know Jeff Bridges was in that version of The Giver.
Yeah,
I don't know. Just I don't know who Francesca Hayward is. That might be a stupid question, but
I have no idea.
okay.
No.
Okay.
Where do you
I'm
see
sure
that?
we're gonna get shunned for that.
Oh?
Judi Dench is in this too. Dang.
Taylor Swift,
There's a lot of interesting. people.
Rosemary.
Yeah, she played Rosemary in The Giver.
What's the name of the actress playing the white cat?
I'm not sure.
The
Jennifer Hudson, right?
No.
I thought she was.
See,
Might
because
be Judi Dench. I mean, Judi Dench played M in James Bond.
yeah, she's the old cat.
Yeah.
The,
Okay.
the old lady cat.
Okay.
But there's like
a
the
white one? It might
the,
be
the
Francesca
dancer,
Hayward.
you know, like the dancing soloist.
I am not sure.
I swear
You
I
are
thought it was Jennifer Hudson.
Jennifer Hudson sings Memories. So I believe she is the spoilers if you haven't seen Cats. The cat that gets chosen to, like be reborn into a new life.
Oh,
But
fuck, the movie is
What a stupid
I think the
movie.
white one's Taylor Swift. No?
She's one of them, but no,
there's
like the
multiple
main
white
dancing
ones.
character.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Rebel Wilson.
No, Rebel Wilson will
Incorrect.
be reprising the role she plays in every movie ever since Pitch Perfect, and that is the fat joke character, where they just make fat jokes about her.
That's unfortunate.
Didn't she have a Netflix special?
Francesca Hayward. That's whoever said that name earlier. That's the one.
it did, yeah.
Does she have a Netflix special?
I don't know.
I think
I
Rebel
remember that.
Wilson is a
How-
great actress, and I
how
think
un-
she's funny. I think it's the writers who don't know how to write for Rebel Wilson
It's-
because they just give her fat jokes.
It's very unfortunate
Does she-
that
she doesn't
Rebel
write her own
Wilson
stuff?
has to choose between like having a successful career and like
she did a
not
Netflix special.
constantly making fat jokes about herself. Like I'm sure as a person she's not completely against the idea of fat jokes. Like obviously she wouldn't continue doing them if she like egregiously hated them, but like as an artist, like
Sure,
she
it gets
can,
old.
She can do so much more than just make jokes about her body. Like that's not cool.
Yeah, she's in Jojo Rabbit, that movie where Taika Waititi plays
yeah.
a boy's imaginary best friend
So now she gets
Hitler.
to make Nazi jokes.
Yeah. And in any of the trailers, the only thing that came close to a fat joke was just she said she had like 17 children for Germany, which is pretty funny. So I really want to see that movie. That looks like a great
Wait,
movie.
maybe that's what the Duggars are doing in like what is it, 21 Kids and Still Counting? They're trying to create the Fourth Reich.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Rebel Wilson was in a comedy, and that was released on Netflix recently called "Isn't It Romantic?" It's called one of the most uplifting comedies this year.
Is that's the one where she gets trapped in a rom-com
Yeah.
Yep.
as the leading
Yeah.
girl in a rom-com?
I'm sure there's just a lot of fat jokes, but I mean, it looks like it's got good reviews.
If she's the lead woman, then hopefully it isn't all fat
Right.
jokes.
Yeah.
Like normally she just plays like the goofy side character.
Right.
I'm excited for Jojo Rabbit though. I am.
That looks pretty good.
It looks pretty good.
I also love what's his name, the guy who directed Thor, Taziki Tadeki.
Oh,
Tadeki.
You mean Taika Waititi?
Yeah, Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
Taika Waititi.
He plays Korg in Thor Ragnarok. He plays the rock.
When I found that out, I thought that was hilarious.
Oh.
Thor Ragnarok.
Try to have a revolution, but I didn't print enough pamphlets. So yeah.
printed off pamphlets out.
Did you guys both see Avengers Endgame? Speaking of movies,
Oh,
Yes.
I saw it twice.
did you both think it was good? I didn't see it, and that's kind of
You didn't see it.
it's kind of illegal. But
Did you see Infinity War?
no.
Well,
So
you're not going to enjoy Endgame if
Well,
you don't
right.
see Infinity.
But
War.
I'm saying, did you think it was good in
I-
synchronization?
All right, well, you know what? I'm going to give my opinion first because David has actual cinematic opinions. And
I do.
I'm just like, I enjoyed this movie.
I have another cinematic
I
opinion
mean,
after this, but go ahead.
I can tell you pretty much everything you need to know about my movie opinions by telling you I genuinely enjoyed Suicide Squad.
I'm so sorry. What?
I like exposition. I like character backstories.
I like poor stories. Okay,
I also
continue.
liked the reboot of Fantastic
I
Four.
enjoy poor. What?
I like backstories.
All right, let's go to the lowest 20 movies ever made. It's probably Joe's top 20.
All right, everyone,
No,
and
my top 5 movies only
getting kicked
include-
out of the studio.
My top 5
Joe
movies
Brown!
only include 3 bad movies because my
Nah,
top
nah,
5
nah,
movies
nah.
are Project Almanac, which is found footage, which you probably wouldn't think is all that great. Breakfast Club, which is one of my all-time favorite movies.
Breakfast
Hey.
Club is
The
good.
Way Way Back, which I don't know if you've heard of, is
I
a
think I have.
fantastic
Hey.
movie. Maya Rudolph's in it, and Steve Carell's in it. The Way Way Back is the only film I've
Take
ever
it back,
seen
take
where
it way,
Steve
way back.
Carell has a serious role. Steve Carell is
Yeah.
never joking in that movie.
Was he in Secret Life of Walter Schmitty? Wasn't he the lead in
Schmitty?
there? Walter Schmitty.
No, that was
Wait.
Ben Stiller.
Oh, you're right. And I don't even know if the last name was Schmitty. I may have
It's-
just
It's the
come up
Secret
with
I
Life
think
of
it's
Walter
Smitty.
Mitty.
Walter Mitty.
Yeah.
Walter Schmitty.
Anyway, my opinion on Endgame was I don't think Endgame was like groundbreaking, amazing cinema.
They
I
spent
don't
so
think
much
it was
money
an
on that
amazing
movie.
story. But I think Endgame kind of had everything that the fans were looking for, and overall it was an enjoyable experience, and I watched it twice.
David, I'd like to hear what you have to say.
I thought, I enjoyed it a lot. It's one of the only movies I've ever had a reaction to in the theater.
Oh, really?
And that makes me a hypocrite because I hate when people react in the theater. I remember part of the reason I hated Bohemian Rhapsody, other than the editing was terrible, was the fact that like I was sitting next to a bunch of Queen like fans
Oh,
whose
dear God.
the prime of their lives were when Queen was and they smelled like smoke the entire time, and then they would clap and they would always be off beat, even during We Will Rock You, where the beat is given to them. It's just a boom boom shh, boom boom shh, and they'd be like boom boom shh, boom boom, boom. Shh. It was horrible. Anyways, so I don't typically like it when people have reactions in the theater. But that moment, spoilers ahead for Avengers Endgame, that moment, do I even have to say that now? It came out a while ago. I'll say it just in case. That moment when Captain America picked up Thor's hammer, I went, holy!
What?
Yeah, that was crazy.
And then
That
they
was
got, like, They
crazy.
got the little jokes, or like they're fighting and they switch hammer and axe, and Thor's like, no, you get the little one.
Yeah.
Like, switch 'em. It just had everything people wanted to see. It was just.
It had everything that was good that you came to see a good Marvel movie for, and it did it better. It was humorous. There was heart in it. It was a good story. I liked and disliked Thanos. I preferred Infinity War Thanos, but I liked seeing two completely different versions of him, like two different paths. Because in the second movie, he knows that he succeeded in the past, which means he thinks then I must be right or I am inevitable. So he becomes kind of more cocky and arrogant, and then he just like, I'm going to kill you all. Instead of like in the first movie, he was kind of stoic. He was like, you put up a worthy battle. Like he respected the heroes. In the second movie, he just like, he knew he had beaten them before. So he's like, why should I even care about them? Oh,
Yeah.
So I liked and didn't like.
I also think that a lot of the twists were set up in ways that were gratifying.
Yeah.
Like, I think every time there was a twist, it was like, oh, it's good and it's happy. And then this spaceship emerges in the atmosphere, and you're like, oh, we're not done yet.
Yo, we're not. And then, there was a lot of fan service moments, but I feel like fan service often gets a negative connotation. They weren't bad. It didn't take away from the movie. I very much enjoyed the fan servicey moments.
Yeah, even if they're kind of stupid sometimes.
Yeah. But I came out of the theater, and I was like, that was the coolest movie ever. I love it. And then I thought about it for a while, and I was like, this movie made absolutely no sense. Why did they choose these points to time travel? Blah, 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 blah. The way they explain time travel makes no sense.
Yeah.
But,
any way that you explain time travel doesn't always make the most sense because time travel is...
Right. I wasn't going in for a gripping story or a drama. I was going in to have a good time, and I left having a good time. Is it the best movie ever made? Is it the deepest Marvel movie ever made? No. There were a lot of stories that got tied up nicely. I really loved how we could see all these character arcs from over like tons of movies kind of come to completion. They tied a nice bow on a lot of character arcs. But is it like the best movie Marvel's ever made? Probably not. It's just cool to see like 10 years of like all these movies made combining into one. It's more like a historical event than it is like
it's also
a phenomenal movie.
It kind of starts to feel like you're almost like friends with these characters. Like, go back and watch the first Avengers movie. These characters would be unrecognizable to you because they don't know each other. They're always fighting. Like, the development that's happened through all of these movies, and for somebody that's like watched all of them, the gratification that you get from like seeing this story unfold, it's like nothing that's ever happened before.
Yeah.
It was pretty awesome.
Thoughts on the new Star Wars movies, other than Solo or Mandalorian?
Oh, keeping in the Disney,
Yes.
I
I don't know if you guys saw them, but I
did.
think that they were pretty poor, in my opinion.
Poor.
Yeah.
Even 7?
Yeah.
Wow. What didn't you like about them?
I thought that forgetting her name now, the new female character.
Rey.
Yes, I think she's weak as a character. Foundationally, I think she's just like not very interesting. She's brought in as like this. She's like ignorant or whatever, naive, and she is like, oh, I'm gonna fight Kylo Ren right at the start, and somehow beats him, and I'm like, I don't know about that really. I mean, in Star Wars, you kind of got to earn it in my mind. And then also when Princess Leia freaking flies out of the cockpit.
Oh.
And then, and then the directors just pulled her back in with whatever director powers they have.
Force magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is like, at that point, and like,
I just thought it was poor
rest
writing.
in peace, but the actress has already passed away. There's no reason to force that character to stay alive so that you can continue.
Force.
Yeah. so that you can.
Yeah.
Carrie Fisher is already not going to be in any more of those movies,
Right.
and they forcibly made that character stay alive, and they're like.
And yet they
Using
kill Han
computer
Solo.
magic to keep that. Oh well, that's because Harrison Ford wanted out
Right.
of that garbage.
Right. I mean, as did I, but I
liked
still watch
the
it.
seventh one. I liked the seventh one because I didn't think it was terrible, and I'm like, all right, so they could be setting up some good stuff. I thought, like, as a premise, maybe they're setting up good stuff.
I just can't get
The
behind
Last Jedi was horrible.
it. I thought The Last Jedi was poor as well.
So I don't think it was horrible.
I don't even know what the heck was going on in that movie. What were they even trying to accomplish?
I don't think it was good either.
They also made a weird error where they destroyed a Star Destroyer by jumping to hyperspace and
Yeah.
just cutting through it. And I was like, that is not how that works. Like, never has that been a
Right.
probable thing in the past.
Never has that been like you just like hyperspace and like, oh, we ran through 15 ships
Right.
on our way here.
I feel like they would just do that as like a military strategy. Just get like a big block and just like charge through everyone hyperspeed.
Yeah, why had no one ever
Well,
thought of
no,
that?
they've referenced in the past in Star Wars that you can't just make a jump to hyperspeed because they have to do calculations. Like, there have been situations in the past where they're like, Han, jump to hyperspeed. Like, the calculations aren't done. Like, you have to plot a route that you don't run into people. Like, that's a thing that you have to do.
But they jumped to hyperspeed and cut through a Star Destroyer.
Well, if you think about physically, their ship's a lot smaller.
It also was a kamikaze move, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their ship's a lot smaller than the Star
mean,
Destroyer,
yeah.
but the impact force in physics comes from momentum, and one component of your momentum is your velocity. So if you're going insanely fast, like you can already see in space, we have issues with space debris currently in our atmosphere, and particles that are like the size of a grain of salt can make massive impacts on like satellites because they're traveling ridiculously fast. And so even though they're like really, really small, they're like these tiny, like insane bullets because they're traveling thousands of kilometers an hour to stay in
Tiny,
orbit.
insane bullets.
It's actually something we talk about a lot at SatDev because it's like it's a
yeah.
huge issue right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why they like that. It kind of breaks the universe for me because like with that one moment, because they could just shoot
Why didn't
anything
they do that? Yeah.
through the Death
Why
Star.
did they not do that before?
Just build like a big piece of metal, put it on hyperspeed on it, and shoot it at the Death Star.
Like a
guess-
battering
Yeah,
ram.
right. Yeah, I don't know. That was just my thing with it.
I'll chalk that one up to Avengers Endgame itis, where wow, was that a cool shot? Like,
Yeah.
that was super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like the music cuts out. It was a beautiful shot, and then you think about it afterwards, and you're like, that made no sense.
No, I can tell you my number one biggest problem with The Last Jedi, and
Please.
that is that in The Force Awakens,
Rose.
we're given like all this stuff about Darth Sidious. What's his name? Shoot,
Which-
Plagueis?
The
Darth
dude,
Plagueis?
yeah, the dude that looks like a
Darth
baby,
Snoke.
right?
Snoke.
Snoke. Snoke.
It's
Um,
Snoke.
Yeah, Snoke.
They give us
Yeah.
all this stuff
Looks
about
like an old
Snoke,
man
right?
and a baby at the
Stoke.
same
There's all
time.
this there's you just see a little bit of him.
Yeah.
He's just pulling strings from the top. Like people were even like, how big is he? Like his hologram is super huge.
How
that
big
just
is he?
inflation? Like there are all these theories about Snoke, and it's like, oh, Snoke's gonna be like, what is Snoke? Right?
Also,
What an
Snoke is
important
the most unmenacing
Oh, yeah.
name.
Snoke.
Snoke, come
Snoke.
on, you could do anything.
Going out of The Force Awakens, there's this big issue where these companies are now so afraid of people. Like everyone has these fan theories, and they don't want their movie to be predictable. So like whenever
Yeah.
there's a fan theory, they're like, oh, we can't do that. Like, all right, well, if you wrote the movie properly, you're giving enough hints that we might be able to kind of predict what's happening.
Right.
And if you go and completely flip on that and do something that makes no sense, that's not satisfying for anyone
for
to
the
watch.
viewer, yeah.
They go and kill Snoke like it's nothing. Like he didn't
Snoke.
even matter. Like they're just like, Snoke's gone. What?
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Yeah, those were that and the whole scene on the gambling planet. I liked the character with the stutter, but I hated that gambling planet. Oh, I was such a waste of time.
I liked where the kid, like at the end, like he picks up the broom or something.
That
with the
was
Force.
cool.
I was like, that's a pretty sick twist.
I'll have the force inside.
Right, right. I was like, that was pretty cool.
I loved the ending. I loved on the planet when they were trapped inside that like bunker.
Yeah.
And I am one of the few people who really liked how they had Luke force project, because they gave hints that he was not actually there throughout the battle, and people are like, but they never established that as a power before.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. If they established that as a power before, people would have been like, oh, he's just gonna force project there.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, if you put that power in, you know how many times like force projecting would have been like so nice, you know?
Yeah.
And they never did it before, and now they're just like, force projecting is allowed. And then,
Well, I feel like it's something Luke learned on his time on that island. I mean, it makes sense to me if they can project themselves after death.
that island was is one of my favorite parts of Star Wars to this day.
Yeah,
The little huts, and then he's like, what are those, like those llama-looking things that he's like getting milk out of? So funny.
The other crime is like Luke's behavior in The Last Jedi. Mark Hamill even said that he was disgusted with the direction they took with the character. Like Luke suddenly doesn't care about anyone.
Didn't
wants
bother
the
me.
Jedis to die.
Didn't bother me. He saw the error of the ways of the Jedi. The Jedi are not like saints. They've done a lot wrong.
Right.
They're the reason.
Didn't they like kill like Padawans or
But-
something?
Well, they're also the
last-
reason.
in like the lore, I'm not sure.
They're the whole reason the Emperor came to power in the first place because they were arrogant.
But if the whole idea is the balance between light and dark, if he allows the dark Jedi to continue existing and lets the light Jedi just die out, how does that make any sense?
Well, yeah, I guess I that didn't bother me. I thought the movie was all right. I thought it was better than any of the prequels. But I will disagree with Owen on the fact that I thought the seventh movie was pretty good. I liked that movie.
Just can't get behind her. She's just.
Rey's like all right.
I feel like she's really weak.
I enjoyed the scenes where she was like figuring out her powers, especially when she was captured and she was just trying out like the.
But she just like takes down
mind
Kylo
stuff.
Ren.
Yeah, that was like meh. Who I really liked in that film was Finn. I really enjoyed. I love the whole story of a rogue stormtrooper.
Yeah.
Oh, that was cool.
Like I feel like they're just trying to recreate
What a
Luke
character.
as a female, and I didn't really like it as a choice.
That's fair.
Speaking about Mark Hamill, and if you don't know who Mark Hamill is, he is Luke Skywalker's actor. There's a video of him surprising Adam Scott. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's on
No.
it's Jimmy Kimmel. It's so freaking good.
Adam Scott?
Adam Scott, yeah.
I'll have to watch
It's adorable. Adam Scott is so funny. So he's like talking about how Adam Scott, he invited Mark Hamill to his like I don't know, 4th grade birthday or something. And he's like, of course didn't show up. But then Jimmy Kimmel has Mark Hamill like in the back, and he like comes out at the end. It was so amazing. It was like such a funny surprise. I was like,
watch that.
Yeah, it was really good.
What quality?
You know, you brought up Mandalorian before.
Yes, I have
and
not
it's
seen it.
on Disney Plus.
Yes,
You know, there's something about the whole idea of Disney Plus that kind of
that
scares
sounds
me.
terrible. Yeah,
It's terrifying.
And I'll tell you, it's not just that like, oh, and now we're gonna have to get all of our channels as streaming services, and we're gonna have to buy a bunch of streaming services. No, the thing for me is Disney's already a very powerful corporation. This is getting a little away from humor, but that's all right. We're gonna talk about this for a hot second. They're already a pretty powerful corporation. But before, when they made movies and TV shows, they didn't have total vertical integration.
Right.
Like Monopoly wise,
Yeah.
They had to go through movie theaters or through cable networks, in order to get their stuff seen.
it wasn't like directly to the consumer. You mean?
Now they have that. The only
Right.
thing the only thing between them and then the consumer are the phones and the tablets and the computers we watch.
Right. I mean, the whole thing of like going to having a system in which every single thing has a retail option where they're like just selling these streaming services is that they're gonna have to like really sell it, because like I'm not buying Disney Plus to see The Mandalorian. So I mean, Netflix is one thing because it has multitudes of things that people want to watch. But they're gonna have to sell streaming services pretty heavily because people aren't gonna buy every single one, and for me, Disney Plus is not gonna be the option.
I feel like what people are going to do is just get a group of their friends and then each of them buys one and then you just share it. I mean, that's
Pirate
basically what HBO
Yeah.
Go was.
Personally,
No one owned HBO Go.
I have owned a couple different kinds of streaming services. I had Netflix for a very long time, and I still have Netflix because I have to watch Stranger Things somehow.
Facts.
But Hulu is honestly my favorite streaming service right now because Hulu has, I mean, it doesn't have everything. I don't think any streaming service has a huge wide variety anymore. But Hulu has most of the stuff that I like to watch, and it updates episodes for certain shows like as they progress.
Right.
So like I'm watching The Good Place right now. Hulu updates the episodes of The Good Place like the day after they come out, instead of like Netflix, which will wait like a year and
Yeah.
then post all of them.
Right. Which is
really
it's
nice.
also kind of a money grab, but yeah.
This episode of Breakdown with Hansen and Brown is brought to you by Hulu. We're better than Netflix,
Chill with us.
we think. Chill with us.
You know why they're better than Netflix? I used to have Netflix for so long. I love Netflix. Netflix is how I watch Doctor Who. Netflix is how I watched How I Met Your Mother. Netflix is how I
I
watch
feel like it's been
Merlin.
on the decline though. There
Netflix
are
is-
very few like good movies on Netflix. Like there's a scattering, but I'm not like going there assuming I'm gonna find like some gold mine. You know.
They're kind of just relying on their originals now, especially once The
Right.
Office
And
is
yet,
taken off of
even
Netflix.
even those are a little questionable.
But, so then this is where I come back to like my thing is I was listing shows that I watched on Netflix I really got into. All
Yeah.
of those shows are no longer on Netflix. They
Yep.
removed Doctor Who. They removed Merlin.
The
they
Office,
removed
The
How I Met Your
Office, which is
Mother,
their big selling
They're
soon,
removing
is going
The
off
Office,
too. Yeah.
which is just
Rough.
like
Friends will probably be off of there soon. Once
I'm
NBC
confused why they're. Is
makes
that
their
a
own.
is it a licensing thing? I'm confused why they're doing it
The
though.
Office is going down because I think the whoever owns the rights to The Office is trying to create their own service.
I
for
think
it.
that's NBC.
Oh,
NBC.
yeah, that's smart. But also, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, people will buy that though. If like they keep making seasons for The Office and NBC owns it, people will
Well,
buy that streaming service for that
they're-
alone.
The Office is done making seasons. It's
Okay,
just people rewatch
never
it
mind.
constantly. There are 9 seasons, I believe, of The Office.
Yeah, very cult following.
It's people love rewatching The Office.
Okay.
Same with Friends.
I've never finished it, but I'm just saying. So even there though, if they moved it there, I'm sure people would buy that even to just rewatch it.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's what I'm getting at. Like streaming services have to figure it out because people
Why
aren't
do
going
we
to buy
have
it
so
for porn.
many?
We got a friend, Evie Nudera, who probably you could tell her the plot of any episode and she could tell you the name of it and what season it's from.
Yeah.
Obsession.
So my guess is she'll
Addiction.
probably, yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
but
Evie, if you're
Recovery.
listening, which you're probably not.
to my credit, I could do the same thing with Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, really?
I was watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine right before I came here.
I can do the same thing with. I was gonna name a show that only has one season, but I can't think of any because I don't watch enough TV.
I can do the same thing with what is it called? Time Unlimited. There's that show about the doctor who can't die, and he's like a morgue doctor solving mysteries.
Oh, Doctor Who.
No, not.
No,
It was actually a really good show, and it only had one season. I was disappointed by it. Firefly, which was the
Firefly.
most criminally short show of all time.
Yeah.
Just when it was getting good, they're like, "Yeah, we can't produce any more episodes of this." How dare you?
One more thing to talk about Disney before we move on to a special little segment. Today, tonight, tomorrow, sometime in that range, Frozen 2 is coming out. Oh my God!
Go get your dads. Let's go see the movie.
Do you guys care?
I saw the trailer. I wasn't blown away. Only because I feel like they ended it pretty well, and I feel like moving on from it is gonna be like some weird. The kingdom's under this rule now, and we're gonna see how it goes. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like they ended it pretty well with like the sisters coming together and like the bad guy being the guy. You know, sister power.
Yep.
I liked it. And then I don't know how they're gonna really make a new thing. I'm
They
confused.
really have to
Sequels
up
just
the
don't
stakes.
interest me.
I don't.
There are good sequels, but I don't feel like this is going to be one of them.
There are good ones. When I asked my girlfriend to homecoming senior year, my board was because I'd gone to homecoming with her the year prior, so it was
Joe
like,
has
the
a
sequel.
girlfriend.
David.
I have no
wanted you to
comment. I have
put on this
no
one.
comment
Yeah.
here.
Anyway,
Don't look at
I
me.
picked up sometimes the sequel is better than the original, and it was all the movies that I think the sequel is better than the original. And I had Deadpool 2, Toy Story
What?
2, Shrek 2.
Okay.
I don't actually think that Deadpool 2 is better than the
Oh,
original.
okay, good.
I just,
You thought Shrek
I
2
was-
was better than the original?
I 100%
Yeah.
think Shrek 2 is better than
Shrek
the
2 is the
original.
best Shrek movie.
I will die on
Ooh.
that mountain.
That's
Shrek
debatable.
2
The
is
only
amazing.
thing that Shrek 1 has on Shrek 2 is the name Lord
Farquaad.
Farquaad because it's supposed to be.
I thought that.
You are listening to Pizza FM
Yeah.
349.
I don't know. I feel like that movie's better.
Shrek 2's got everything.
Okay, continue.
Live and love
Anyway,
it
so
all
what were the
loca.
sequels? What were the
It
sequels you
was,
said? You said Deadpool?
Toy Story 2, Deadpool
Toy
2, which
Story
I
2.
don't actually think is better. Than
Did you guys see the new Toy Story?
4?
Yes.
Yes.
No, yeah, I did see. Four.
I thought that ending was one of the worst endings in movie history.
I
Okay.
agree.
Not a good
Fantastic.
movie, but
I
That
love
movie
the
was
movie.
great.
I thought it was a great
Yeah.
movie.
I didn't
I
really
loved how
like
they
it.
tied up the villain's story plot where a little girl finds her. That made me oh. And then they got to
had-
the
Makes a
very
grown man
end.
cry.
they
And I was
had
like, hey.
some amazing jokes in that movie. I
Pals
was,
before gals, you know?
I was really laughing.
What the heck?
But
Bro code, Woody.
the ending, which is what did it for me, was if you haven't seen it, you should step away from
Yeah,
the
spoilers.
Spoilers
Spoilers.
coming.
But Woody's whole character is centered around devotion and like giving up himself for others and for what was Andy. But and then in this movie, he just like goes with the girl at the end. Like this,
It's the hero's journey.
Well,
But
I think they
he's
were
a
saying
changed
like
person.
he's always been so selfless, and at the end, Buzz was like, "We've got this.
Yeah,
You can finally be selfish."
I guess, but like I don't know. His whole storyline is like it's for the toys. Like we're together in this. Like he's like the leader. And then at the end, I felt so sad when Buzz went off with the toys. Like Buzz was always like the second in command, and then he's just like off to be the lost toy when he's always been like Andy's rock. You know, I don't know. I just felt kind of sad.
The thing I didn't like about it is that Buzz and Woody didn't stay together.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, they were like, I know in life, you know, sometimes you and your best friend have to part ways, but like, come on, those two. Ugh.
Okay, but then and I gotta just say this. Remember the sequence with the like carnival dolls that are connected, describing how they'd get the keys
Key and Peele.
from the old woman.
Ah!
Key and Peele.
The best choice they made in that movie was getting Key and Peele.
But just
Was that the stuffed
sequence-
toys that were stuck together?
Yes.
that
No
sequence,
way.
Like
Yep.
the first time,
I didn't know that.
You didn't notice that? It was hilarious.
That's
And Keanu Reeves was the Canadian Daredevil.
Yes.
Keanu
So
Reeves.
good.
Yeah, that
Keanu
was
Reeves is a
hysterical.
young god. If you don't know who Keanu Reeves is, look him
What
up.
was the name of his owner? Is always like
Duke.
John.
Oh, I don't know his owner, but he was Duke Kaboom
Yeah. But Duke Kaboom was always like, no, John. Like
or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. But no, the thing
John
where they
Wick.
like the
Also played
dolls
by
are like
Keanu Reeves?
Keanu Reeves is a young god, I'm saying.
Yeah, like Key and Peele are totally like, oh, we can get the keys, and it's like the first one they jump at the woman's face, and the next one like hide in the corner and jump on her face, and they're like, no, you're not gonna do that, and then they finally show like this long sequence of the woman packing up, closing the shop, driving home, eating dinner, having a bath, going to bed, waking up in the morning. Then after she wakes up in the morning, they jump on her face again, and it was so long and drawn out. You knew what the punchline was gonna be
Right.
the whole time, and you're just like waiting for it. I thought that was hilarious.
It's a great movie.
Do you want to introduce our special segment? Today?
Sure, but first I'll wrap up by saying Frozen 2, you know, unless they have another Let It Go, you know, it's not going to be
I
as
feel
good
like
as
they'll
the first
attempt
one.
it, and it won't be. I mean, you can't make a Let It Go.
Yeah. Even though I love Kristen
Frozen on
Bell.
Broadway did it. and it's
Kristen
called
Bell
Monster.
as Anna.
It's called what?
Monster.
Oh.
You heard that song?
No.
No.
Yeah, apparently Frozen on Broadway was like, "Let It Go" is not enough of an anthem for
Monster
Elsa.
by Eminem.
So we
I'm
need a
friends
new one.
with the monster. All right. So I wanted to do a recurring segment on the show, just for the heck of it. So I came up with an idea that was heavily inspired by something else, because that's how ideas are made this day and age. I shouldn't say heavily inspired. That's a lie.
It was stolen. I mean,
It was stolen. So there's this game invented by Bernie Burns of Rooster Teeth called $1 Million But, and it's a whole situation where you get $1 million, but something happens to you.
you
There's
have to
a
give up your
scenario.
butt. You no longer have a butt.
Yeah, like you no longer have a butt. So I thought that would be kind of a fun thing to play on here, but we should steal it and rebrand it as something else, like we're, you know, the Hulu to their Netflix. That was a joke. I don't mean to steal it.
because we're the budget version.
We're the budget version,
Hulu to
and they're not going to find us. So we're going to play a game. We're going to play a game called Name Your Price, where we each have came with scenarios.
This sounds oddly seducing. Continue.
Where we each have come with scenarios, and all three of us are gonna, after explaining the scenario, all three of us are gonna write, think about how much it would take, how much cash it would for us to take this scenario. Yep. Whoever has the lowest amount
Has to do it.
has to actually do it. No, gets that money, and whoever has the most amount of money at the end wins absolutely nothing.
Love the stakes.
So there's no stakes. It's just for a good time and, you know, thoughtful discussion. So I'm since it's my idea, my completely original idea, I'll start. So I want you guys to name your price. Here's the scenario, okay?
$500.
Everything's as normal.
Free. Do it.
Free. Everything's as normal. Everything's like regular life.
Okay.
Except
All right.
all the trees and all the bushes everywhere in the world have eyes. and they're constantly watching you.
How many?
Only you can see them. No one else
how-
can see the
how
trees.
many eyes? Like, does a tree
Two.
have an eye on every branch, or does each like individual thing have 2 eyes?
Each tree has 2 eyes. I'm imagining around the trunk, and they're not like creepy eyes. They're just like cartoon, like googly eyes, but they're still always watching you. You never have any privacy. So if you're like at home and you're
trees
watching
talk.
like My Little Pony, as Joe frequently does, and the trees they're watching you, and then you turn and you look at the trees, they're going to give you a disapproving look. They're going to be like, really, man? Grow up. But they're not going to say anything.
Oh, free.
I mean,
100% I'll do it for free.
wow, really?
Really?
I don't think
I'd hate that.
To have a sitcom relationship with all the trees and bushes in the world, they'd be
They
my
can't
buddies.
talk to you though.
They can't
They just
talk-
silently judge you from
Yeah.
behind their
All
large
they
bark.
can do is silently judge you. That's perfect.
You would never have privacy. Do you know how many trees there are?
Does it matter? They can't say shit to anyone.
I
Have
guess.
you ever been naked in front of one of your pets before? What are they gonna say about it?
They're gonna stare at you and make
Hey,
sure you feel
know-
their sadness.
Hey, what-
No, they're going to be like, hey, me too.
My cat has never worn pants in her
Bro, I don't have
life.
clothes either. What's up?
What's up?
A tree has never worn clothes. If you don't know what trees are into, trees could be into some weird.
Trees
tree
are into the
stuff.
ground, dude. You seen Roots before? It's great stuff.
I would do it for free. You'd not have to pay.
You'd have to pay me.
Then I'm going to have to edit this. Because we can't have that. All right. So your big thing is that the trees can't tell anyone, huh?
Yeah, the trees can't talk.
What if once a month the trees send a letter to your mom,
Wow. We're going to your mother now.
right to your mother, on loose leaf paper?
Oh, wow. We're going there.
$2
$2 million just for that pun.
Two
Just for
million.
making me listen to that.
2 million?
Oh no, that was for the pun.
Oh, okay.
For the actual tree thing, yeah, that's a little bit more. I guess.
You'd never have privacy. You'd always feel like you're being watched.
I mean, I think less than $1 million. Honestly, I think I'd do it for a couple 100,000. Cause like
For
I
the
don't-
rest of your life?
For the rest.
Yeah,
of
that seems about fair.
I mean,
Couple
I don't think
100,000?
that, like
200,000?
I don't even think that I do embarrassing enough stuff that I'd be like that mortified that my mom knows what I'm doing.
Ooh, dang.
I think I have a pretty good relationship with my mom. I probably.
I'd
What
go-
about when you're kissing your girlfriend, Joe?
I'd go 500,000.
All right, but like.
What if she has a bonsai tree in her room,
Okay.
and you're just like, crap, we got a mole.
Okay, but here's the thing though. It's just
You go in a
loose leaf
room,
paper.
you just take the bonsai tree, just set it outside the door. She's like, "What are you
No
doing?"
If
peeking.
it's just a sheet of loose leaf paper, though, like, was my mom gonna be mortified? It's like Joe kisses his girlfriend. Oh no! Oh dear!
Cut off his lips.
Oh god!
Cut off.
Yeah, like, I'm 19. He's not gonna. I don't think it's that bad. I'd say like $250,000. Honestly, maybe $100,000 minimum.
All right, so I got another good one. How much money for you to have the voice and personality you do now, but you permanently look like a 10-year-old of the opposite gender?
Oh.
Oh god, no.
How much?
Uh,
How much?
Millions. We're looking in the millions.
Really?
I might even say no way.
Look, as a male, the opposite gender is a female. 10-year-old girls get pretty much whatever they want. Like, that's just fact.
Except laid.
Hey,
Oh no!
now
we're
you're on a
not
list.
going here.
Now you're on a
We're not
list.
going
Look
here.
what you did.
They don't get that. That's what I'm saying.
Watch the windows, man. They're coming
Pizza
through.
The
FM
trees are
3.9
talking.
No, not the
commercial
trees.
college.
No, I'm just saying.
Broadcasted in partnership
I'm just saying
with-
as
We're
a
gonna have to shut
10-year-old
down
girl.
now. The FBI is coming.
I'm just saying if you
Alright,
had the
so you
face of a
don't really
10-year-old
have-
girl,
Chris Hansen, please take
you,
a seat.
you probably would not get too many more dates. That's
Um,
just what I'm saying.
look.
So what you're saying is it makes no difference to you either way, and you'll do it for free.
Oh.
I think we're saying David only wants to get laid. I think that's the conclusion we're coming to.
It's
I'd
never gonna
do it
happen if I was a
for
10-year-old girl.
I'd do it for $1 million.
I would not.
2
do
million.
it for any- for
Million
the-
bucks,
for the rest
easy.
of your life.
Yep.
No, I'd
5
rather-
million.
I would rather live my life normally as I am now. I don't
$1 million
need to be
bucks,
mega
I'm a
billionaire
10-year-old girl. Bet.
I'm thinking when I get really old.
Yeah.
And while I'll be old and alone, I could
You'd be 10 years old, though.
I could be like, yeah. I'll be old and alone, but have the face of a 10-year-old.
Mm.
All those like lotion commercials, like I'd be a hot commodity.
no.
Think
You-
about how
you-
much money I'd make.
There's no, oh my gosh, okay.
But you
I
wouldn't be
use
able to drive.
Lubriderm.
No one would believe your age.
Yeah, that doesn't matter as long as you have an idea. You get carded as like a 60-year-old when
Okay,
you
if
walk in a
you
bar. They're like,
straight up
no,
look
ma'am,
like a-
I don't think
If
so.
you straight up look like a 10-year-old girl, everyone is going to believe your idea is fake.
Update, my
No
girlfriend
one is-
said she wouldn't date me if I was a 10-year-old girl. And,
Okay, tell her she is a 10-year-old
And
girl.
something,
Aaron
something's
she-
got to change.
And,
It might be the relationship or it might be my gender. But
I think she's caring too much
Tell
about
Aaron I
looks.
have pictures of her.
I think that's very superficial of her.
tell
How
Aaron,
dare
My
she?
personality as a 10-year-old girl isn't enough for you?
you can tell Aaron that I have pictures of her when she was 11, and she looks exactly the same as she does now.
Oh, dang. Listen, I'm just. No one. You would never garner respect. Like, who are we going to give the promotion to? Bob, the hardworking guy, or Joe, the 10-year-old girl?
That's why I'm saying I wouldn't do it. No amount of money. Like, I'd rather live my life normally as I am now.
Yep, I agree. It would take a lot of money. A lot of money.
I think I've
So it
got
sounds like
Yeah.
Owen's
No,
getting the
he-
money on this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went the lowest? I said $1 million. You guys went above that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
said infinite. You wouldn't be able to
Yeah,
pay
you
that.
can't beat that.
I think...
Okay. Infinity to the
Alright.
infinite power.
I think
I'm
I
waiting
got
for the
one-
FBI to
I
come
think I
in, but
got one that
continue.
David might be okay with this
Okay.
one. All right. So in my situation,
Yes, sir.
how much would I have to pay you
Yeah.
so that every time you're in a relationship with someone, so every time you even go on a date with someone,
Oh, this is
start
why
a
David liked it.
relationship, right? Every single time you have to get that person's name tattooed on your lower back like a tramp stamp. Every new person goes like a little bit higher than the last one.
Honestly, that's a great idea. Because,
It
like...
just goes slowly
Whoa,
up your
whoa,
back.
hang on. Does your significant other also get a tattoo?
No, it's just you.
Okay, here's the thing. Maybe you pressure your significant other to also get a tattoo, so you're like ingrained in each other and you can't leave.
That's
Right, but, like,
creepy.
if you have
Um,
multiple relationships,
Well,
I've
First
got a
off-
lock on her now.
First off, it's not starting now. It's every relationship you've ever had. That person names like starting with the first one. goes
Fantastic.
up, and then every time you
It would-
have a new relationship, you get the person.
then you could say like the less names I have. You can like show future significant others. I'm so committed. I have one name on my back.
I
How
have
about
0
you?
names on my back.
Here's the thing, though. I should probably be willing.
There's no way she'd believe. You'd be like, listen to me. Every time I get a girlfriend, I get a tattoo on my back, like naturally, and I don't have any, so I've never had a girlfriend. She'd be like,
That's sad.
that's I'm not sure about that one.
Like, I've seen a lot of crazy pickup lines. I watched 2.5 Men. I watched How I Met Your Mother. I've never heard that one before.
I don't have any tattoos on my back.
Well, technically,
Do
under
they
my
just
rules,
appear, or do you have to go to a?
No, they appear.
You have to go get it tattooed.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Because part of that is I don't like the idea of getting a tattoo because
that raises the price. It's
It
painful.
does, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially, I'm
Especially
assuming
on
near
your-
the,
on your lower
the
back.
especially
I'm
in the tramp stamp
reasonably
area.
against tattoos for me as well, just because like when I'm 80, I know I'm gonna look back and be like, why is my wrinkly skin
Oh,
got ink on it?
But
And
that's
I'm
the
like,
good thing about a tramp stamp. You're not going to be able to see it
Yeah,
when you're
look.
80.
And hopefully other people aren't seeing it at 80. Except like the aide, like you're at a nursing home and the aide comes in. They're like, "All right, time to change," and they look at the back and there's like 20 names and they're just like, "Wow."
you want to be 21?
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Mine'd be a lot. I would lose.
There's. I mean.
I don't-
Can I customize the tattoos?
Oh, true.
I
Can
mean,
you make
yeah,
some
you can make it
designs?
look like flowery and whatnot, but it's the person's name.
I love how you assume Dave would make it flowery. That's funny.
And then when
I would make it flowery.
when I go in to get a new tattoo, can I tell him on the old one to just put like, I know I can't get rid of the name, but can I add like a she's dead to me or something like
Oh
that?
yeah, totally. Cross it out. Add a not anymore. You're just gonna have like a stack of tattoos of like names going up your back.
I'd be very petty. Or if I had a bunch of names, just like, let's just use Brenda for example. Let's say I dated 15 Brendas in a row,
Mm-hmm.
and all of them would have next to them, Brenda sucks, Brenda sucks, Brenda sucks.
Yeah,
you
lower-
get the name, and then when you
I'll do
break
that.
up, you put sex next to it.
Sucks.
That's funny.
I don't imagine I'm gonna date that many people in my life. I've only ever had one girlfriend.
Flashback
I
25
think
years
I
in the
could-
future.
Yeah.
Joe's got like 40 girlfriends.
I'm keeping
Oh,
this
look it up.
documented.
Oh, keep it.
Joe's in
documented.
a polygamous relationship.
I would say some maybe like a couple million. I'd be willing to do
Jeez.
that. It's like maybe 1 or 2 million.
So, and you can't get them removed, right?
No, they can't be removed. You can edit them, like add stuff to it, but you can't like block it out. And you can't get it.
Okay.
The name always has to be
500,000.
Really? I'd be way above that.
All right, I get the money.
Yeah, for sure.
David's very confident in his lack of. Have better confidence in yourself.
Hey,
I
no,
think
Joe.
you
I
do.
just think girls would be pretty impressed when I show up with my list of 30 names.
I think that you look significantly better than a 10-year-old girl. Get on
Whoa.
out there, buddy.
Hang on. You checking out 10-year-old girls, Joe? How do you know he looks better than 10? Okay. Okay.
I've
I got
never seen
another
a 10-year-old
question.
Girl in my life, officer.
I have another
So,
answer.
How much money would
Yeah.
it take
Yeah.
to
That is the premise,
to
yeah.
inherit a grumpy crocodile named Clive and he has to go everywhere with you.
Can I have it for free?
Sorry, what?
Yes. You
This
heard me
came
right.
out of nowhere.
A grumpy crocodile named Clive. You have to introduce him and go everywhere with
Hi
Grumpy
everyone.
This
Hi,
is
I'm David
Clive.
Hansen. This.
Hi,
So
David.
I'm in an interview,
Yes,
right?
yes.
I'm in an
You
interview.
dress up the crocodile.
and you shake
give it
the
a,
hand.
Give it a top hat.
You're like, "Hi, I'm David." And if you look to the ground, this is my grumpy crocodile.
Clive.
Clive.
Yes.
I want Clive. Do
Yeah,
you
but
have
Clive has to
Can I
come
have
with
him?
you. He has to walk with you. You know how terrible that would be?
Does Clive try
I've
to
seen
bite
the
me?
Golden Compass.
He's a
Clive
crocodile.
Is my demon.
Is he a fully grown crocodile?
He
Is he like
he
a
is
cartoon
a grumpy,
crocodile?
full-grown crocodile.
Oh, 100%.
Can I train him? I know he's grumpy, but will will it be like a begrudging like friendship? Like I hate you.
He's
but,
upset. He's like a cat. He's a pretty upset crocodile.
But if I feed him, will he be like, "Fine, you're all right"?
He's never gonna
He's just
attack
grumpy.
us. He's just
Is he
grumpy,
like
right?
is he like Garfield grumpy, or is he like eat my leg grumpy?
Well, he's a crocodile and he's upset.
So Garfield grumpy.
Sure.
In the world where he's not gonna like maul me, I'd say 100,000. Just I need a little bit of money to play with to like adjust the infrastructure of my life so that I can like take him everywhere.
Just the
Can I keep him in a
infrastructure.
cage at home?
He has to come with you everywhere.
Yeah,
He's
but
sit
when
next
I'm
to
at
your
home, he's with me. Can I keep
Oh,
him in a cage?
yes.
Because when I'm sleeping at night, and if he's a grumpy crocodile, I definitely want him in a cage.
Okay, yeah, that's allowed.
Because otherwise, I wouldn't have much time to spend my money.
Look, if you don't dress up Clive, I'd be very upset though.
I'd 100% dress up Clive. I
Fantastic.
like Clive.
Clive needs, when I go to work out, Clive's wearing a full tracksuit.
You just put Clive on a treadmill and he just like walks slowly on the treadmill.
He'd be totally unhappy about it too. He'd be like, "I hate working out.
I hate Mondays.
I hate my
You just walk around saying, "I hate
I
Mondays."
hate Monday."
You don't even have a job, Clive. Why do you hate Mondays so much?
Oh my God! There's a crocodile right by you. Don't worry, he's not aggressive, just grumpy.
He is just grumpy. I like Clive. I think Clive sounds fun.
Here's my thing.
I'm
You
going
don't-
500,000.
You would always have a Halloween costume. You could be Steve Irwin.
Oh, 100%.
I mean,
Is that
Yeah.
too soon?
no.
Too soon. He died like
Yeah.
what, 10 years
Pretty-
ago.
Great. Boom.
I
Steve
dressed up
Irwin.
as Steve Irwin before for Halloween.
So I would take this one for
Mine's 500.
probably
said
over
100,000.
500.
Over 500?
I'd probably be
Easy
around
dub.
700.
70.
7
$70. Easy.
750,000.
No, I said 100,000.
Whoa.
I'd do it for. I like the idea of having Clive
That's
around.
bold. I can't go lower than 100,000.
I think 100,000. That's enough money to hire a trainer, a crocodile
Yeah, I mean
trainer.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I need
Yeah.
a decent amount of money to like adjust the infrastructure of my life. Aside from that, I'm excited at the idea of having Clive.
If you can survive the first week,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think you could.
I think
figure
you
it
just got to get like a nice, sturdy rubber band around his mouth, and you're good.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Women like a guy with dogs. Imagine how they'll react when
Would you
it's
have a
guy with
crocodile?
crocodile.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you just go to the bar like, "Hey, baby,
Look down.
look down"?
No, not there. Over
Not
there.
there.
That's not crocodile. Okay.
I call it Clive. What? No, my pet. Jeez.
Look at them. Okay. So, how much money would it take?
Yeah.
Okay. For a random 15 minutes, non-consecutive, scattered throughout your day, you make uncontrollable animal noises.
$2.
David's really into animal noises.
It would not change David's general behavior.
he's in his lecture. He's just making noises from the 16th row back. Kids around him are
Professor's
getting
like-
up.
And you'll see here at the end that this proof becomes natural actually after you look at the general. And then David's sitting in the front like, woof! And he's like, yeah, that's right, David. Someone's paying attention to the lecture.
Oh gosh. I'd go
Ow!
pretty high. I'd probably go 2 mil.
15 minutes for every day.
Yeah, but not consecutive.
Yeah, like if it's just random,
If it was
that's kind of annoying.
right, if it's consecutive, you can like go to the bathroom and like sit in the stall. So like the people that come in are be like, that guy's either got a dog in there or he's really
Or
weird.
he's on crack.
You're right. Yeah.
Do the animal noises change, or is it like one day you're just one animal?
One day you just walk in and bow, 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 ka, ka, da, da.
Rock-ka-ka-ka-ka-ka-ta.
Ring, ding, 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 da, ding, da, ding.
Like, and
Quality rough.
for one whole day, am I like the white-horned rhinoceros, or is it like, at one moment I'm a dog, and the next moment I'm like,
I would assume
A
it would change
blobfish.
by the minute because it's scattered by 15 minutes.
okay,
I like that.
I'm
Uh,
going
1
2
million.
Ooh, really? Dang, I can't go lower than
Joe, can you go lower than 1 million?
No way.
$1 million, but I
$1
mean,
million is
what's name
solid.
your price?
Couple million.
Couple million.
Yeah,
All right, I'm getting this one.
I'm mad.
All right.
Okay. And we got one?
I think it's about time we wrap up the show.
All right.
We're a little over time.
Sounds good.
Hey, Owen, thank you so much for spending your time with us today.
My absolute pleasure, gentlemen.
It was great having you on the show. If you want to, find out more about Owen or Service Dogs, just look it up on the internet. Duh. So Illini Service Dogs,
Yes.
UIUC.
Yes.
That's it. Let's give a big hand to Owen. Give a big hand to my co-host Joe Brown.
Oh yeah, we love Joe. Joe's the best. Oh yeah.
That's Joe's mom in the
Yeah,
back,
sorry,
the only one
that's
clapping.
That's our live
Excuse
studio
me.
audience of 60 people all
And from
applauding
Pizza
uproariously.
and from PizzaFM, I'm David Hansen.
And I'm Joe Brown.
Good night, America.